What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Marriage and Medicine. So when we make that transition from medical school to residency, there's a lot of things that they don't teach you, essentially, that you don't really know about until you're basically thrown in there. And so today we'll just kind of talk about a couple of those things. One thing for sure is understand that mistakes are going to be made. As a resident, you're actually putting in orders, you're actually seeing the patient. A lot of times your attending will take your word for what you evaluate the patient with. So you know that at some point a mistake is going to be made. Most of the time the patient's not harmed from that mistake, but there are instances where that is the situation where something that you do actually ends up adversely affecting a patient. And that's things that you don't really get a chance to experience in medical school because, again, you're not really doing any of those things. You're not putting in the orders. You're not really doing the actual direct patient care from that standpoint. So when you get to that point when you're in residency, understand that mistakes will happen, and it's a regular thing and a fairly common thing that does occur during training. Again, this is training. You're there to learn, and you're going to make mistakes as you learn along the way, but I can guarantee you're not going to make the same mistake 2 times. So that's good from that standpoint. But when you get in those situations where you feel as though you have made some kind of medical error, just be sure to be very upfront about it. That's kind of the main thing you can do. Do not try to cover it up. Just let whoever needs to know about the situation, and so you can continue to move forward from that standpoint.
It's going to come out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And the good thing, like in residency, I feel like people put a little bit of too much stress on themselves because they feel like, now I'm a doctor, I have to like be 100% all the time. But the good thing with being in residency is you're not by yourself. You
Right.
still have another like attending that you answer to.
Mm-hmm.
You have nurses that are going to be helping you pretty much the whole way. So like if there's ever a time where you're confused or you're not sure what to do, like you have people that you can go to, so you don't have to feel like you have to know everything
Right.
on your own.
Because you're not even close.
Yeah.
Even as an attending, a lot of attendings, you still are going to encounter something that you just don't know about or that you haven't seen yet. So always be very quick to ask questions.
Something else that you're not really prepared for in medical school, and I guess as a spouse you're not prepared for either, is just that residency can put some kind of a strain on your relationship. So whether it's a financial strain because you feel like your household doesn't have enough money, or you have like the strain of you thought you were going to be able to spend more time with them.
Why you had that thought, but
well, because you think like people think when you're getting out of medical school and you're going to residency, the first thought is like, okay, you're finally making money now. But then once you get in, you realize like you're not making that much like you thought it was going to be. And then you think too, like, oh, in residency now you're a doctor. I don't know, maybe like you have your scheduled shifts, it's not going to be that bad. I don't know. I just feel like people think medical school is a lot more time consuming than residency, which it's just not the case. Like it's more time consuming from a studying standpoint, but I feel like residency, especially depending on which specialty you choose, residency is a lot more time consuming than medical school is. And so that can cause like tension in a relationship, even if you're not married, even if you're just dating someone that's in residency, that can cause a little bit of an issue between people. And I feel like that for us in our marriage, I don't think we really ever had any like serious issues, but I feel like residency did cause a little like tension from a financial aspect for us, just because we were trying to get used to, like, I was working in medical school and he wasn't, and then now he's working and I'm not, and trying to like figure out how that's gonna work is tough.
It's going to bring out all of those little minor things that you might have pushed under the rug during med school.
Yeah, I think
it's going to come out.
For us it was just the hard part of, because if I did work, really, my salary would have just went towards daycare mostly. And so to me, it wasn't worth working just to pay for my child to go to daycare. Yeah. So being put on one income for our house caused issues as far as like you know, can we spend money here, or no, we need to save money there. And then having some big, like, we had some big financial decisions we had to make early on, which we were prepared for, but it also, again, still puts a little bit of like a strain, can cause some little arguments. And so, yeah, I would just say to be prepared for that. It may happen. It's okay.
It's just going to make you stronger, honestly, because at some point, this kind of things are going to come up. So learn from it, kind of grow together as you go through residency, and give each other the benefit of the doubt when these kind of arguments and things come up. Again, residency is stressful. Just give each other a listening ear and understanding. And the last thing that you don't really hear about in medical school is during residency, you're going to have a lot of kind of small administrative tasks that you're going to have to stay on top of, basically in order to be able to get all your things done so you can actually graduate on time, different things of that nature. So again, you're going to have to like log your procedures, you're going to have to log your hours of actually working. You're going to have to make sure, again, you're still going to have to study on top of that, because again, you have in-training exams that you're going to have to take as well. So all these kind of things add up as you go along. So be sure that you are very on top of your scheduling in terms of also making sure that you have reminders in your calendars in terms of when things are due, when you have to have certain things in by, because that will definitely bite you in the butt. Now, hopefully you have good program coordinators, like I did, thankfully, who are on top of it. So if you're missing something, they will send you reminders. They will make sure that you get it in on time. But that's not the case at every residency. So make sure that you are professional and you're taking care of your stuff as you're supposed to. Because again, you're the only one that's affected by this. So make sure that you're able to kind of get through everything appropriately from that standpoint.
And definitely make sure you're on it for your last year of residency, because some places, if you aren't, they will like keep you from graduating altogether. So you definitely, especially that last year, I mean, you should be doing it all the years, but that last year, make sure you are like getting your stuff checked off, because the last thing you want is in those last like 2 months, you're like scrambling, trying to figure out like, where can I get these hours? How can I do this or that? And then to be told like, oh, you're not going to be able to graduate because you didn't get this done, or you were this many hours short. So just in that last year especially, just make sure you have all of that ready to go as you go through your year.
Exactly. And go to conference. Go to conference. Just
every
go.
place has that?
Every place has conference. Every residency, that's an AC, well, the medical board, for residencies, their board, basically, you have to have conference. You have to have at least 5 hours a week. Go to conference, because you have to meet a certain percentage of that. It's not going to kill you. You're going to learn something. Just go to conference. Don't let that be why you don't graduate. That's a terrible way to go out.
So thank you guys for watching this week. Feel free to like our video and subscribe if you haven't. And then if you also haven't followed us over on Instagram, you can find us at marriage, the letter N, and medicine. And we will see you in the next video.
Peace.